What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I think is the most underrated weapon in Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2, and that is going to be the Collateral Damage AR. As always, if you guys do find this video to be helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the Collateral Damage AR, and if there is any other weapon this season that you think is more underrated. So, not only do I think the Collateral Damage AR is underrated, I think it's actually just one of the best weapons in the game right now. But the reason why people don't really talk about it as much or don't run it as much or it's not really getting a lot of attention is because the role it fills in the game in your inventory is not something that most players want to dedicate an inventory slot to or carry an item specifically for that role. But just as an example of one of the ways this weapon is insane, the common Collateral Damage AR has a higher DPS than both the legendary Hollow Twister AR and the Striker Burst. And DPS is damage per second. This isn't always the best stat. I feel like it kind of leaves out some context of the weapon. But just as like a starter, the common one is putting out more damage per second than the legendary versions of the other ARs. And the fire rate on the Collateral Damage AR is actually the highest fire rate item in the loot pool right now at 12. The Precision SMG, I think, has like 10.5, and then the laser weapon has an 11 fire rate. So it's the fastest firing weapon in the game right now. The main reason it's not getting a lot of attention, though, like I said, is it just fills a role that a lot of people don't need. It's a third-person weapon with a lot of bloom, which makes it pretty inaccurate and unreliable at long range. And so you can't really use this as your main AR for long range fights. And not only is long range kind of a problem when it comes into like these third person bloom weapons, but even if you're kind of in like a medium range fight where you're playing off cover and the enemy is playing off of cover and, you know, y'all are both peeking and showing very little. If you're on a head glitch and the enemy is on a head glitch, the Collateral Damage AR is just a way less convenient weapon to use in that fight than either of the other ARs are. So it's not just like really long range where this weapon suffers. Even in some medium range fights, if cover is used well, it can be a struggle. But like, because of the stats of this weapon and the feel of this weapon, I think it's best to think of it as an SMG, and it is by far the best spray weapon in the game right now. A lot of players just don't want to use a spray weapon though, because the other ARs are versatile enough to kind of be used as a spray weapon to combo with your pump. Like the Hollow Twister and the Striker Burst do that fine. And then they'd rather use that inventory slot for like extra mobility, extra utility, or just extra heals. And I am definitely one of those people. I like using just 2 guns, 2 mobility items, and heals, and that's what I enjoy using. But I definitely think using 2 ARs is very viable. So something like Pump, Collateral Damage AR as your spray weapon exclusively, mobility heals, and then like the Striker Burst AR or the Hollow Twister AR. Running 2 ARs in a setup I definitely think can work. You lose out on having some of that extra mobility or extra utility, but you should dominate any close range fights you get into with versus anybody that's using one of the other ARs as their actual spray weapon. I have a clip in this gameplay where I end up fighting Cosmic. He's one of my teammates on Ghost, and he is a very, very, very good zero build player. And I actually miss my pump shot. I don't hit a very good pump shot, but I'm still able to eliminate him in that fight just because of how busted the Collateral Damage AR is. And I'm not, you know, trying to brag about eliminating somebody in Fortnite. Like, the game is the way it is. Anybody can kind of kill anybody. But I'm just saying that, like, even versus good players, how dominant of a spray weapon this is can kind of just flat out win you the fight, because a lot of players aren't actually using a dedicated spray weapon. So you have a clear advantage in a lot of fights, I think, if you are using this as your spray weapon. Ammo is a concern for some people this season, and running 2 ARs is going to make that even more of a problem. I haven't had the ammo problems this season as much as other people have for some reason. Like, I feel like I'm never... Like, I often leave my POI with not the most AR ammo, but after like a kill or 2 in the mid game, I'm usually pretty stacked on ammo. So I think if you're going around and getting kills, you should be getting refresh on medium ammo pretty conveniently. And it's not like you're just going to be full spraying this a lot. It's like you pump and then spray this and then pump again. It's not like I'm mag dumping at like 80 meters away onto someone's car or something. Those are the situations where I feel like the ammo problems are most severe to me. If I'm already kind of not in a great spot on ammo and then I fight someone that's just running away in a car and I end up spraying it too much, that's when it's a problem. But other than that, I really haven't had the ammo problems that other people seem to be having this season, or at least having it as severe as other people have. So that aspect isn't really much of a deterrent to me. Another situation where I think running the collateral makes a lot of sense and is incredibly effective and potentially one of the best setups in the game is if you like running the sniper or you like running the mammoth pistol as your ranged weapon. Because as I touched on, the main problem with the collateral is going to be ranged fights because the bloom is not great. And then also fights where you're playing off of cover and then you and the opponent are both showing little of your character. But if you want to run a sniper or you want to run the mammoth pistol and you're already using the sniper or the mammoth pistol in those situations anyways, then that setup just perfectly covers the weakness of the collateral AR, and then you get the collateral AR as your main spray weapon. So I think that combo just synergizes perfectly. Like, their weaknesses and strengths kind of cover for each other, and there's not as much of a need to run like a hollow twister AR and the sniper if you're going to be sniping a lot in long range. You might as well get the collateral, you dominate close range fights, and then you have your sniper for range anyway. So I think if you really like running the sniper and you really like running the mammoth, then using the collateral damage AR instead of one of the other ARs, I think definitely makes a lot of sense, especially if you are someone who runs the sniper and uses it a lot. Like, if you're running a sniper and only using it a little bit, then maybe you still want another AR. But if your main playstyle is kind of sniping and mammoth pistoling, which I'm sure many of you kind of do this or know people that do this, like, I think the collateral fits so much better there. Another benefit of the collateral damage AR is going to be that the mythic version is very easily attainable. You can get this from the black market at magic mosses for dill bits. And the way the black markets work, the collateral damage AR is always at magic mosses. The mythic pump is always at Crime City. And then the mythic sniper is always outside Mask Meadows at that black market. And I feel like of these black markets, the one that gets the most attention is going to be the Crime City one for the mythic pump. Like, I feel like every time I go there, there's a lot of people either there already or end up like pushing me after I just got it. That's usually a pretty hot populated area on the map because a lot of people want that mythic pump, right? It's very good. And I still want the mythic pump too, but if you're going to run the collateral damage AR and you enjoy using it, the fact that the best version of this weapon is easily attainable and not as contested as the other mythics, I think is a very good thing, and just makes it to where you're always going to have, or you should always have, the best version of your weapon. And that can make up for having a lower rarity pump in some situations. You might get a purple pump in the collateral damage AR out of the Magic Moss's black market, and then end up having an advantage in the fight versus mythic pump just because of your damage output with that AR is better than theirs. Another time where the collateral damage can be pretty good, or the collateral AR can be pretty good, that is something where you don't need to run it all game, is going to be when you're clearing out the vaults, because some of the guards at the vaults will drop the collateral damage AR. There's like auto shotgun guards, precision SMG guards, and then there's some with the collateral damage AR, right? And as you're clearing out this vault, any fight you get in is going to be close range, just because of the nature of the fact that you're fighting around a vault. If people want to fight you, they got to come into that room and fight you. So dropping your, even if you don't want to run the collateral AR all game, like dropping your main AR here, picking up this AR, just in case anybody does push you, can be the difference maker in some of those close range fights. And you're not really giving anything up for it because, as I said, those situations are great for the collateral damage AR. And like, your AR is right there. You can just get it when you leave the vault. So if you are going to be fighting the vault, that little thing, it takes basically no effort to just drop your AR next to the vault door, pick up the collateral AR, and then have a more dominant setup for the fights that are likely to take place at the vault. And if you guys have been going for the vaults this season, you know there's typically a lot of third parties and a lot of people, you know, trying to clean you up. Another weapon that I considered as kind of the most underrated weapon when I was making this video is going to be the plasma burst laser. This was added this season as well, and you can get it, I believe, from looting, and then also you can get it out of the heist bags. So if you really like using the plasma rifle, the heist bags are definitely something you want to be looting. And I do think the plasma burst rifle is very good, and it is an underrated weapon. I think a lot of people aren't really paying attention to this. The main reason I kind of preferred the collateral damage AR is just, it felt better to me to use. Like, damage output wise. I felt like I was melting more with the collateral damage AR, but also the swap animation on the laser really isn't that great. And the laser kind of does the same thing as the collateral damage AR to me. Like, it's a similar role that it's filling in my inventory. I'm not going to be using the laser as a main AR at like 80+ meter fights or playing around cover like I talked about. I'm going to be using it very similar to how I would be using the collateral damage AR, but the laser has a pretty bad pullout time if I'm swapping from a pump to this and then needing to go back to the pump and then back to this. Like, it just, the pullout time I think is worse, and that kind of makes me, I think I'd rather have the striker burst rifle or the hollow twister AR over the laser, even though the laser does kill very good, just because the pullout time of the laser is so bad that it can be the difference maker in those situations. Like, you guys know, if you're fighting somebody decent in close range, the milliseconds and very small windows of time really matter, and that pullout time can just kind of grief you with the laser. So I think the laser is very good, and a lot of people would be surprised on how fast it kills, but the pullout time just made me not want to use it as much. Also, if you are struggling to deal with the bat melee, the regular melee attack of the bat, one of the best ways you can do this is just kind of stand still and spray them with your AR. And if you find yourself consistently losing to the bat melee, having a more dominant spray AR can definitely help you. And the collateral damage is a very dominant spray AR. And that's why I think it is not only the most underrated weapon in the game right now, but potentially one of the best weapons in the game. But that is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys found this to be helpful, informative, interesting. If you like sniping, I think you definitely want to start using this. And you're probably going to see a lot of success with it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Give this a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. I don't think this guy is the greatest because he didn't like push off that damage. The guy's name is Scoped Assassin. He's camping in the bunker with a sniper. That's crazy. Where did he just go, bro? I don't know what just happened. He died over there somehow. But I feel like it took an eternity after me sprint bashing him for him to die. He got stuck in a tree? That's what I'm wondering. I think we're on the same wavelength. Thank you for the 17 months unproductive. Enjoy your sub-edgy modes. And ad-free viewing. Thank you so much. But yeah, if your default binds on controller, if you click in left stick, it will turn the sight of the weapon off. But you can disable that in the settings. Oh, he just went incredibly high. He would have been dead so much sooner here, but I wanted to kill him with the laser. Look at how high up he is, dude. I sent that man to Mars.